Imagine stepping into a room filled with laughter, chandeliers, and celebration, only to feel every eye on you. Not with kindness, but with judgment. That was me, a single mom at a wedding where everyone thought I didn't belong. They laughed, whispered, and mocked until the groom revealed a secret that turned their laughter into silence. If you've ever been judged, underestimated, or made to feel small just because of your situation, this story is for you. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss these powerful stories. Now let's dive in. The hall was glowing golden chandeliers, tables dressed in white satin, crystal glasses catching the light like diamonds. Everyone looked perfect. Everyone except me. I walked in holding my son's tiny hand. He was only 6. His hair was neatly combed, his little bow tie slightly crooked because he'd insisted on putting it on himself. He whispered, "Mommy, it's so shiny here." His eyes reflected the chandelier lights like they were stars. I smiled, squeezing his hand. But inside, my heart was pounding. My dress was simple, navy blue, a little worn at the edges. I'd saved for weeks just to buy something that looked decent enough. Still, compared to the satin gowns, glittering jewelry, and designer shoes around me, I felt small, and they noticed. I caught the whispers almost immediately. 2 women near the entrance leaned in close. Perfume heavy, voices sharp. "Isn't that the single mom?" one muttered. The other laughed softly. "She really came? Bold of her." I lowered my gaze, leading my son toward the tables, pretending I hadn't heard. But I had. Every syllable clung to me like smoke. It wasn't new. Being a single mom came with whispers, pity, and judgment. But tonight, surrounded by glittering wealth, it hit harder. Why? Because I wasn't just another guest. I was here because the groom invited me personally. Michael. I'd known him years ago, before the success, before the big career, before the sparkling new bride who now floated across the room like a porcelain doll. Back then, he was lost, struggling, and somehow, our lives had crossed. When the invitation arrived in my mailbox with my name written in his handwriting, I almost didn't believe it was real. But it was, and I wasn't going to miss it. Still, every stare reminded me I didn't belong. I sat with my son at a table in the back. Across the room, bridesmaids giggled, champagne glasses in hand. One tilted her head toward me. She probably only came for the free food. The others laughed. My son tugged on my sleeve, confused. "Mommy, why are they laughing?" My throat tightened. I stroked his hair, forcing a calm smile. "Don't worry, sweetheart. Just eat, okay?" He nodded, his little world still innocent. But mine? Mine was burning with shame. As dinner was served, I tried to disappear into the background. But the whispers followed. One older woman at the table leaned over, fake politeness dripping from her voice. "So, raising him alone? Must be hard. What a shame." Shame. That word always cut deepest. Because while I loved my son with everything in me, being a single mom wasn't easy. Nights alone with a crying baby. Mornings dragging myself to work on 2 hours of sleep. Bills stacked on the counter. And always the judgment. I thought I'd grown thick skin. But here, under chandeliers and judgmental eyes, I felt small, invisible. Then Michael glanced at me. It was quick. Just a look across the room. But his eyes softened, like he remembered. And for the first time that night, I felt less alone. The ceremony had been beautiful. Vows spoken, rings exchanged, applause echoing through the hall. Everyone cheered, tears in their eyes, everyone except me. I wanted to feel happy, I did. But every smirk, every whisper, every pitying glance kept pulling me back under. During dinner, I cut my son's chicken into tiny bites while the rest of the table swapped stories about vacations, expensive hobbies, promotions. What could I add? That I'd worked 3 shifts this week just to keep the lights on? The woman beside me smirked, lowering her voice. "Isn't he a little young to be here? Weddings aren't really for children." I forced a polite smile. "He's fine. He's enjoying himself." She leaned closer, venom in her words. "Well, let's just hope he doesn't turn out like his father." My chest tightened. My fork froze. I wanted to scream, to ask her who gave her the right. But instead, I turned back to my son, who was humming softly as he ate, blissfully unaware. Because this wasn't about me anymore. It was about him. If I cried, they'd win. If I stormed out, they'd win. If I let their poison touch him, they'd win. So I straightened my back and stayed. But it got worse. As the music played and speeches began, the whispers grew crueler. I caught pieces of conversations. Surprised she even got invited. Probably begged her way in. Imagine thinking being a single mom is an accomplishment. Every word felt like a slap. And just when I thought I couldn't take any more, the speeches began. The best man gave his toast, making everyone laugh with old college stories. The bride's father spoke, proud and emotional. Then Michael stood. The room fell silent. He cleared his throat, holding the microphone. His bride smiled at him, glowing. But his eyes searched the crowd until they found me. And then he spoke. Tonight is about love, about gratitude, about the people who shaped us into who we are. And there's one person here I need to thank more than anyone else. Whispers rippled. Everyone leaned forward. Michael's gaze stayed locked on me. Years ago, I was lost. I was broke, hopeless, ready to give up. And there was someone who gave me a reason to keep going. Someone who, even with almost nothing, shared what little she had. My hands trembled. He continued, voice steady. She fed me when I couldn't afford food. She encouraged me when I thought I'd never make it. She reminded me of my worth when I'd forgotten it myself. Without her, I wouldn't be standing here today. I wouldn't be the man I am. I owe everything to her. The room went silent. Michael lifted his glass. To Anna, to the strongest woman I know. Every head turned toward me. Forks froze mid-air. Champagne glasses lowered. The same people who had whispered, mocked, and pitied me now stared in stunned silence. I felt my son tug on my arm. Mommy. He's talking about you. Tears filled my eyes. My throat closed. I wanted to disappear and shine at the same time. And then, the applause started. It began with Michael's voice, then spread through the room. Hands clapped. Guests nodded. Some even looked ashamed. The very people who had laughed at me now clapped for me. But I didn't need their applause. Because in that moment, I wasn't just a single mom. I was someone who had made a difference. And my son? He beamed at me like I was a hero. After the speech, the atmosphere shifted. People who had smirked at me before now avoided my eyes. A few even approached me awkwardly, offering apologies or soft smiles. The bridesmaids? They stayed quiet. No more laughter, but none of that mattered. What mattered was my son squeezing my hand, whispering, "I'm proud of you, Mommy." And for the first time in years, I believed it. Later that night, as I tucked my son into bed, he asked me, "Mommy, why did they laugh at you before?" "You're the best." I kissed his forehead, my voice shaking. Sometimes people judge what they don't understand. But you should never let their words decide your worth. He nodded sleepily. Like how Michael didn't forget? I smiled. Exactly. Because the truth is, being a single mom doesn't make you less. It makes you more, stronger, braver, carrying double the weight with half the help. And sometimes, the kindness you give in your darkest moments comes back to you when you least expect it. If this story touched you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more powerful stories. Share it with someone who needs a reminder of their worth. And tell me in the comments, have you ever been judged unfairly only to prove people wrong? I'd love to hear your story.